Welcome to Crystal One-on-One. My name is Crystal, and I always have amazing conversations with amazing people on this show. Today, I am with media personality, radio host, TV host, author of 30 Days of Flavia, Flavia Tumusiime. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
I like the pink.
Very
nice,
thank you. Yeah, I was aiming for blue today. I'm not sure what happened.
But the lipstick matches
Yeah, I put out a blue dress and this, and I said no. It's cold, it's raining, it's the season, I'll do this.
Okay, you'll do that. A little bit of brightness, a little bit of pep for your step. Yes. So welcome to Crystal One-on-One. Thank you for taking the time.
Of course.
You are engaged.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Wrong day to ask, but yes, I am. Thank you.
We have already established that the ring is just
somewhere
in the handbag.
Yeah, and my fiance might see this. I take this very seriously. It went off for reasons I will share with you.
You shall explain yourself
I will explain
later.
myself. Yes.
Okay. So, well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You, of course, are like our childhood sweetheart, child star. Let's just say you've been on
People
TV
are tired of me.
Since how old were you when you
14.
14.
I went live on TV at 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get to that point?
Oof.
Who put you up to it? Or did you ask?
You'll be very surprised. It's my mother, my aunt, and my grandmother. Yeah, my first reaction or, from the show was from my grandmother. Who doesn't even speak English, so this is weird.
And she's like, this child of ours.
Yeah, but initially there's a lady called Brenda Naviro who used to actually be part of TV, and there were about 2 newsreaders. I think they knew my aunt, and so they were just talking some of the random stuff, and then they said, "Oh, you have your niece who really likes to watch TV. She should come because I hear that they want teens to present on a show." I said, "I'll say it." So I think after some time, another friend of ours insisted, "Did you ever tell your niece to audition?" I said, "I don't understand those things, but I'll tell her."
Okay.
So one time she's home and she tells my mom, they want some teens to watch TV because I'm an only child. So there'd be people around the house and I'd just be like this on the TV.
So TV was your best friend?
Yes. So my mom said, she can go. What do they need? So they made the call and said, all she needs is to just show up on a Saturday morning. The auditions happen between 8 to 9 a.m.
Okay.
So my mom said, okay, so I don't know where that is. What am I supposed to do? So I had to go alone.
You went by yourself?
I went by myself.
Your mom was working?
Spear House. Actually, they by then they trusted me. I could go anywhere alone.
Wow.
So they just told me, when you get here, ask this and that and that. And I went, and I remember they told me to be there at 8. I was there at 7:20 something. I was pretty early.
At 14, she was early for her appointment.
I sat there, and it was Spear. I don't know if anybody knows how that is, but you're on the ground floor, and then WS are like on the 3rd floor.
Yes.
So I sit down because as a kid, I'm not sure whether to go on the 3rd floor, 2nd floor, any floor. So I just sat there, and the receptionist asked me, "Who do you want to see?" And I said, "Somebody called Jacinta Kagoro. She's a producer for Teens Club. Why do you want to see her? Audition. Okay, you wait. Why? She's not yet here." I'll never forget this. She walked right. She greets everybody and said, "That girl is looking for you." She looks at me, looks at my shoes, what I'm wearing, my hair, just walks away.
No.
And then she's like, this caliber person is not going to speak English. No. Just walks away. Goes the lift. 8:30, 9:30, 10.
Oh no.
And so somebody's randomly walking with her like, "Why are you still here waiting for this?" But she's upstairs. So they tell her, she's like, "Okay, calm." So I get there, she tells me to sit there and watch the other teens presenters do their work. And she'll be calling me in a few minutes. It was so intimidating. But I sat there quiet. I sat there quiet, and Bobby, Yvonne, Eleanor, some of the teens presenters, they were actually quite polite. They said, "Oh, you're here to audition. Do you know what you're supposed to do?" I said, "Yes." They ignored me after that, since I knew what to do. So she tells me, "Come into the studios, look right into that camera, tell me your names, and audition."
Okay.
So I said, "Okay." So I said, "That camera?" I said, "Okay. I'm Flavia Tumusiime, and I am..." these kids who are from very local schools, they are very slow. I'm like, is it my hair? Is it my
Baptism by
Sound
fire.
like my friend. So she says, do you know any of the segments on the show? I said, yes. So she said, I want you to present for me 2 segments, just intro links and that's it. I had done my research. I knew what
Okay.
intro links were. I knew what an audition was. I knew every single presenter. I knew everything. I had done my notes. I had
Look at
read.
you.
I was good. And I knew I was good, but she was about to know I was good. So I look right into the camera and say, hi, I'm Tumusiime Flavia. I say everything. She's looking right at me like this.
Like in shock.
Yeah, so she's like, do it again differently. Because I think she thought I'd, rehearsed something. And I'd do a second one. She made me do 3 takes.
Whoa.
And she tells me, okay, do you see where you were sitting before? I want you to go back and sit there. She didn't tell me, you're good, you're bad. She just said, sit there. 12 middays when the show would go live. So all the cool kids would be on the show. And she said, sit right there. And then I'll never forget it. Benny Man and Janet Jackson, what's the song called?
Philly boy?
Philly Boy was playing. Song is about to end and she says, Tumusiime, go on. Live!
Oh my God, that's the stuff of nightmares.
Trust me. I went to audition, okay?
And sat there for like hours.
Thank you. So my mom and the family at home were waiting for me to tell them how the audition was. It's kind of like going for a job. So they're waiting. They were just watching the show just to see the kids on the show, and boom.
Who did they?
Flavia. And the Bobby, who was, I think everybody knew Bobby. So he's asking me on the show, so we have a new presenter. I'm like, I am? Just like that? Flavia, so what's your favorite song? Feel It Boy, Benny Man, and Janet Jackson. Because they're just playing.
And that's what popped up.
He's like, interesting. That just played right now. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's a good day for me.
This was meant to be.
It was meant to be. And we had about 15 minutes on air. We go off and she says, yeah, so you keep coming back every Saturday. That's
Is there
how
a
I was.
discussion of like some kind
Oh
of
no!
payment?
Oh no! I didn't even realize they're supposed to pay you. I
Well.
thought it's a place where teenagers go and have a good time. So I didn't get paid for like 2 years.
Well, that's I think the story for a lot of people.
2 years.
A lot of people, because at the end of the day, you want the job, and I think that's the attitude
Yeah.
that's different for a lot of people. They want the big salary even before they've done the time.
No
Have you ever come across
experience.
anyone with?
Every single
Because
day.
people like to say the youth,
the young people.
they need to change their attitude, but
But they
I don't
do.
know.
They do, because a lot of people that come to me for mentorship or for advice, especially even those in the media, those who want to join media. Sometimes I'm telling them, you might have a good degree, you might have aced your exams, but this is a bit of talent coupled with experience, and those take time.
And determination.
It takes a lot of time. And they're like, so do you think starting salary is like 3 million shillings? And you're like, how do I tell you? How do I break this down for you and say there are people who've worked for 8 years?
And they're not making 3 million shillings.
So you want to walk out of university to make it. Now, however, because they always ask, is there money? And that's the question Ugandans ask. Is there money in that thing? Eh? And I said, how I can explain to you that some people make money, others don't.
Yeah.
Which means you have to look at what that individual is doing or what has made them be that successful,
Yeah.
and not made the other person successful. I have colleagues in the industry where, for example, now starting out to MC, there was a starting rate which was nothing, free.
Exposure.
Hey,
You need
that's the starting
people-
rate. The starting rate is 0 shillings, and you have to invest in yourself. You have to get an outfit, you have to make sure your hair is done and everything, and you have to show up on time and do the job as if you are getting paid.
Exactly.
Then you eventually get to trickle down to some money. And I remember giving a job out to somebody in the industry, and I said, you really should start doing this, because it's some extra money on the side,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be so bad. You can supplement your income. And it's like, will they give me a hard time? I said, I don't know. If they will
You
give
have
me
to
a
be
hard
willing and you have
time.
to be open to see.
And they were
right?
giving her the same rate they were giving me, with her having no experience.
That's a good deal.
Because I bargained for her. And then she gets there and the person calls me, never, ever recommend this person to me again. And this is somebody in the industry with us who's been in there for long. And that's their attitude.
Okay.
They're saying they made me stand up, I had to go talk to these people because they don't
What
realize.
did you think they were gonna do though?
You see, they don't realize what it actually means.
Yeah.
You understand? They want to see Crystal. Oh, she's famous, but the work.
They don't see the steps that
Because
you've
you go
taken.
to work. You don't look at it as I'm going to a cool thing. You're just going to work.
Yeah.
So I think that's what people don't realize. And when they get in there, they're like, no, I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah. Because the money is not like right there,
Exactly.
falling from the sky.
I wish.
How we all wish.
That's true. We all
So
do.
Flavia, what kind
Yeah.
of music do you like? Because music says
Yeah.
a lot about a person.
It does. It does. To be honest, I don't have a genre of music I like. I think I've gone through 1 year I like reggae, the next year I like R&B, the next year, and then sometimes if you're in love, you like R&B because you just want love songs.
Yes.
And then the next minute you're like, everything is annoying, so I'm a rock fan. So I don't think and then plus radio doesn't allow you to really have a preference because you listen to so
much music. Yeah.
so much music. So if a song is good, I like a good song, but for me it's about the mood. So
Okay.
depending on how I feel, I'll say I like that song.
Is it also about maybe music attaches itself to certain memories for you?
Yes,
as well?
that too as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right.
That-
So if
that's
you
how
were
I
to
like
pick a
music.
song, because I want to know what kind of music you'd pick for this show.
Okay.
Your
Oh.
first request.
Okay, first, because I was like, oh my God, I'll list the first one, and I'm thinking about this, but I'm just going to go ahead for one that is really close to my heart, because it's the one that, you know, that song that brings tears to your eyes?
Yes.
You just listen and you're like, oh my God, the world is so fixed, oh my God. That one. And it's Mercy Said No by CeCe Winans.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Mercy said no.
Mercy said no.
It's Crystal One-on-One, and I am Crystal chatting with Flavia Tumusiime today. Yes, and she was talking about sometimes you try to put yourself out there for people that you care about, and someone gave me that lesson early in life that, you know, don't put your neck out for someone unless you're sure they'll be able to deliver. Because that happens a lot with family too. But so-and-so is my cousin.
Yeah, but I don't know what that makes me, but I don't think I've recommended family members anyway. I must improve, but I don't remember a time where I recommended family.
No, it hasn't
We're
happened.
also not in the same line of work, so
Well, that might be
Yeah.
the case there
but they probably used my name somewhere.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So you said you're an only child.
Yes.
And TV was a big part of your
Best
childhood.
friend.
Did you ever miss having siblings?
No.
You wanted
Ooh,
all the
I
attention
should say that
to yourself.
slowly. No. Not the attention. I don't think I got the attention.
Where did it go then?
Actually, funny enough, I only see mom's fussy attention now that I'm going to get married.
Oh,
She's like, oh, the blue must be here and then the green must be. I'm like, no. So now I'm like, were you always like this? Or was it me who didn't notice that you were in my face like this? But I didn't, I think they let me be independent. My father was more of a, let a child be an adult. It's okay.
Yeah.
Think for yourself. And
you can do what you want.
Yes. Plus, I was thrown in boarding school at like 5.5-ish. So
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
they were
a
good.
lot of sense.
I don't think I'm very
You don't-
attached.
okay.
Yeah, I
would
was
you,
young.
Would you put your child in boarding school?
I would.
Yeah?
I would.
Okay.
Like I can love you, but from a distance.
Okay.
So I'm not that you must sit right next to me and breathe. Ooh, you're breathing. That's a good thing. No, no.
I like the way you're saying that, like she already has a child.
Maybe again with a child. My mother keeps saying that when you have your own child, you
Everything will
know.
change.
Yes.
Everything will be different.
Yeah, she's like, you ignore me too much. You will know with your own child. So I guess that might happen. But I think I could always be independent in a situation. So if they had a conversation as adults, they could forget I was there because I can ignore you.
So would you spend a lot of time with adults then?
Yeah, actually I think when I was maybe 15, 16, my mom said, oh, you need to start spending time with kids your own age. Because I would start to, when they're adults, aunties and uncles having a conversation, I'd pitch in.
Okay.
And then they're like,
We're like, wait.
yes. And they're like, No, you should not be discussing that. Not that it was anything vulgar or whatever, but they just thought, when do you get to be a kid? So they decided Easter, Christmas, and all the holidays I'd be at my aunt's who had 4 kids, plus she's a Christian, so she has more kids of Christ. So the house would be packed.
So that must have been very different, going from home where
Yes.
you're pretty much the only
The
child,
only one.
and now you're surrounded by all these kids.
Yes. So in fact, some of my cousins sometimes would be told to come to our home
Okay.
to be with me, and they'd be like, we're bored.
Oh.
Yeah, so like, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I watch TV, and then I sleep, and then I just sit. They're like, no, that's not how children are.
So you're telling me you never climb trees?
No.
You never like run races? What about in school? Were you,
Maybe in school.
in
Yeah, I was about to
school,
say
were you
that's
sporty?
school.
Were you?
I was. There was at City Primary now, Area now, I think something else. We used to have clubs or club time.
Okay.
So from like after lunchtime until like about 5, you'd go to whatever club you choose. It could be a sports club, it could be Interact, whatever you choose, and spend your time there.
Okay,
So
what
they
did
do
you
different
choose?
activities. So there was, my friends who were always boys had this rugby game where their version of rugby is that if you missed the ball, would all pounce and hit you. It was the best. And so one time they're playing and they give the ball to me and I think I panicked and let the ball go. Then they all come rushing to me and they think twice while they get into me like it's a girl. So some boy's like, but she acts like a guy, we can hit her. So all the boys are there debating around me. No, but like the teachers will beat us.
And she's a girl.
Because she's a girl.
But she's one of us.
So I was they told me to get out of their game. So I was always the cheerleader on the side. But
Oh
it was a nice one.
So you had a lot of boys for friends?
Yes, till my adult life. Yeah, till my
okay.
adult life. I think I only have closest inner circle, maybe like 4 girlfriends.
Wow.
That's it.
So
I know.
I was going to ask something else, but no.
Go on.
Is there a reason you don't have more girlfriends? Because some people say
Okay, so-
women
so
are complicated.
Also,
I
that's
don't know.
different because I can say this, and then like my closest friend Tatu always says, "Stop telling lies. You have a lot of friends. It's just you know, because you can have that circle where you talk to like a million people, but you only tell a few people.
So you're talking about like your real
Yes.
your people.
Otherwise, I probably have way too many friends.
Okay.
Yeah, too many people I talk to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've always known Flavia for liking her tea,
I do.
and
I
she's
do.
having
Dawa.
there's no milk today.
No.
Dawa tea.
Yes.
And you've always talked about your love for tea. I've seen you post about it on social
Yeah.
media. Is there a reason? Does it date back to memories from when you were a child? Would you get milk fresh from a cow? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the privilege of having my last name.
Okay.
It comes with like a domola of tea. But I think because I'm not very good with food. In my younger days, my mom used to beg, eat something, have something. So I was very skinny.
Okay.
In fact, God forbid I share my pictures. Maybe because I grew up on TV, obviously, people remember a skinny girl. But so she used to say, oh, but you love tea. So I will give you as much tea as possible. So I could sit there and drink a whole entire flask on my own.
Like a flask.
Oh yes.
Oh my
Till
goodness.
today, if you're not careful, I could drink a whole flask. But a plate of food, I'd cry. Like it would be a problem. So tea was just part of me. So I could drink tea at any time. And then in my adult life, because it took me a while to even try a glass of wine. So when I'd go out, that's all I'd ask for. Tea. And so before I knew it, I could tell you which herbal tea is good for which season and which moment and which. So tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, tea it is then. Back to the kind of music you like.
Yes.
If you were to pick a second song, what
Okay.
would you go for?
Yeah, so because I had said reggae and I remembered this song that I like. I only like it because the girl sounds nice.
Okay.
Yeah, Etana.
You stay strong. We have to survive it.
Welcome back to Crystal One-on-One. We are filming from Le Chateau Brasserie Belge, having some beautiful cappuccino for me, some tea for Flavia. I like my coffee, I have to say. You know, you said to me the other day, it's not good for you.
Yeah, and you were
That's
like,
not
you know the
true.
research. a lot of it is not good. I
Too
think a lot
much
of
of it.
anything anyway
Yeah.
is not good for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked about your dad. That, you know, when you were little, you'd be like, let her do what she wants to do
Yeah.
and everything. But you did tell me that you lost your dad when you were quite young.
Yes.
How old were you?
About 8 or 9.
About 8 or
Yeah.
9. Do you have strong memories of him?
Yes, I do. I do. Of course, I was shipped to boarding school, so that's you miss a certain part. But I do remember a lot of him. Plus, I get told stories that I may not have remembered as a child. But I remember him being, how do I say this? A disciplinarian who's not really, not that I'll slap you across the room, no.
Yeah.
But like we will sit across each other, and he always treated me like an adult. Always.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you get bad grades and you have a discussion about why the other children got better grades than you. What are they possibly eating? We should get you that. Seriously.
What are they doing that you're not
Do you
doing?
think their parents love them better than yours?
Whoa.
I don't know. You should find out. They're going to the same school as you. Why are they passing and you're not? And you're like, okay, that was just 3 kids ahead of me. Well, there are 3 kids ahead of you. And in life, that's 3 people ahead of you. And you're like, okay, I'm only 7. Yeah, but that was him.
That
He was always straight. And then there was always like memories like when he'd come home from work, and as children you're supposed to sleep early, obviously. And he'd say, he'd wake me up and say, have a seat at the table. I'm having my dinner. Let's talk.
Okay.
So how was your day? Good. What happened? Oh, I played. Where exactly? Did you play with stones, with dirt? Okay. And then,
So he wanted details.
oh, yes, yes. And said so.
Because it
and
sounds
then
like he was a communicator then.
he was a brilliant communicator. And then he'd say, okay, so this whole week you've been explaining to me things using the same words, nice. So try and use different words. So the whole day you're playing but thinking, was this awesome? Was this brilliant?
Because you know the expectations.
Because the expectations
Bigger
are
words,
bigger
bigger
words. So which was good because then you end up
Because it forced you to expand your vocabulary.
exactly. So and he used to work for the European Economic Community, which is now the EU. So I went to his office and I said, oh, there are flags on your table. He says, I'm going in for a meeting. When I come back, I want to know all the countries. So I just kept
Okay.
saying green, yellow, and it stars blue. So I think the reason for my confidence or being outspoken is from him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So when he passed away, was it a very difficult transition?
Ow. Okay, I'll tell you what. I was in school,
Okay.
and God bless my mom. She broke the news in the most awkward way ever.
so she came, you were in school.
I was in boarding school, and I always tell my mom that I think I know when he passed. And she says, how come? I said, on that day it rained so hard and my leg was hurting. And she's like, okay, all right.
Okay.
Like, okay.
So how
But
did
she came to school, and I think the policy, because I went to Tumusiime, and I think their policy was that you don't just come and tell a child your parent has died.
Okay.
So they'll give you permission to take the child from school, but you don't break the news
Yeah, there and
there and then. So she says, oh, we're leaving school for a couple of days, we'll be back. I said, why? It's school term and I'm busy. We have things to do in school. And she says, no, we'll be back just in time for the exams. And so the headmistress came and she said, no, really, you'll be back very soon. It's nothing serious. I was one of those kids.
Other kids were like, yeah,
No,
anything to get out of
no.
school.
So we're in a car going, and you notice a few changes because my mom and dad, my dad was, quite educated, different family. My mom wasn't really from that era, and so the life kind of changed, and you can tell from the driver is not picking you up from school. You're going in a taxi with everybody, and you're asking questions like, "So are these all our friends?" I need to raise my kids in a humble way. But she asked, mom is like, yeah, these are all our friends in the taxi. God bless
It's
my
like,
mom.
how do I even start these questions?
God bless my mom. She's like, yeah. Then she's like, so I insist. I'm like, so where are we going and why are we going? So she says, okay, I have sad news. And you can tell she's choking up to say it. And she's like, Daddy is gone. I said, where? She said, Daddy has died. I said, okay. She says, did you understand
You
that
seriously
dead
said, okay.
is gone?
Yes.
So I said, yeah. But I don't think I understood
I think
it.
you needed some time to-
Of course. And then she said, oh, and he was buried. So I'm like, oh, okay. But we will go and, you can pay respects and say a prayer. So I said, okay. And I don't think I cried or threw a tantrum the entire time. I went to the grave, I paid my respects, and I do not remember shedding a tear. And I think over time you see life has changed. And I think my mom will testify that I was probably the easiest child to transition from a high life to a low life.
Yeah.
No complaints.
Okay.
We need to sit here or we need to share food. Cool!
But you didn't like food anyway.
I didn't like food anyway, so I'm happy. Or now you'll go to a cheaper school. This is where you'll go. Okay. How do I get there? There's a taxi. When you get in, you say this. No problem. So I think she says God just has a way of doing things that God will give you a child who just understands.
Yeah.
And so I was that child. I was like, the dirtier the better. Okay, so we're living life. In an honest, we're having a good time. So she never had the transition of saying, oh, but things are changing because of this. I mean, she did have to explain to me why I wasn't going back to this same school, why I can't afford it. This is what I can afford. You can go to this.
Well, thankfully, she was explaining. There are a lot of
And then
parents,
she said,
especially in that time, who felt they didn't owe you any answers.
Of course not. You lived the life we live, and that's it. And
This
also
is how it is now.
Yeah, if you want something, you ask me.
Okay.
You don't ask anyone else. You ask me. And if I can give it to you, I will explain to you why. And if I can't, I will also explain to you why I can't.
Okay.
So I never lacked.
Okay.
I probably had a more cushioned life than anyone who had two parents. Trust me. I ate more than I needed to eat. And there was always extras, and there was always, let's go for a walk on Sunday, go for ice cream. I had the life.
Okay.
And of course now you grow up and you're like, yo, how did you make that work?
Yeah, because you just said that your mom wasn't as educated as your
At all. And she was just fending a hustle is what I'd call it. And I keep telling her, you're strong, because she was raising
she
a
know
very
that she's
level-headed person. And I was the type of child who would ask you questions and frustrate you, but she tried, she tried her best, put me through school. And by the time I started working on Teens Club, I think I started getting paid in my third year of Teens Club, and I did 5 years. And I didn't understand probably what it meant, but she had to give me transport every Saturday to go do the show. And in the last 2 years, I think they'll pay me 150,000. Back then, I'm not sure the value now. 150,000 shillings. And I used to come and tell her, here's all this money. Maybe you can pay for tuition at the university.
Oh, bless.
I know. No, and she's like, of course. I'm going to put it here in this. You see where it is? So every time you bring, I'll add. This can pay for like 10 universities. I'm like, oh, we are rich. Of course, till I went to university, I realized, no, that was not money. But then the good things that by the time I got to university, I was already doing radio. And I was emceeing.
So you were already working.
So I could pay for myself, my tuition. And
So you paid for yourself?
Yes. I actually paid myself through high school, the last years, S5 and S6, all the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
As we like to say, you got
Well done.
Well done. Well done. Other people said, oh, life is so hard, I've given up.
Oh, please.
The last time we were chatting, you mentioned that you have a very strong relationship with God.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you got him on speed dial.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Was there a point in your life
on
that
WhatsApp.
moved you to that? Or have you always just had a strong faith?
It's kind of like that book, The Secret, where you start to visualize things and they start to happen. And so you start saying, oh, the universe is so good. So I used to pray for things. And then after like a few years, I realized, wait, everything I'm praying for is happening. And
Everything
then
is
so
coming
you start
to you.
so you start to trust God and you say, well, if you could provide that and that. And then sometimes you just ask, like, okay, that was a bit ambitious, but I'll just ask. And then he delivers it. You're like, oh. So then I think the more I grew up, the more I realized, okay, I have to be careful.
What you asked for.
What I ask for.
Okay.
Because it looks like he is on a mission to bless me. So I will be careful. And I'm saying that because anyone who's a believer knows that each blessing comes from a battle.
Okay.
So you will say, Lord, I want a car.
Yeah.
And be specific about the car you want. And for example, I'll tell you, I've said car and I've remembered, I went to church one day and I was coming out of church at Christ the King, and the car that I drive today, not the exact one, but the same make and color, was parked in a parking space right next to the car I was driving before. I said, oh, this is the one I'm going to own. My mom said, when? About a year. And in about a year, I had a very rough accident and I had to get a new car.
Yes, yes.
And that's the car I got. And I had made up my mind to buy a different car. And I'd forgotten the whole, I love that car. And a woman said, oh, but there's this car, which is exact color, exact make.
Are you serious?
So I was like, okay, so when I said I want the car, I didn't say an accident, then a car, you know? So I've come to, and every other thing I've been blessed with has come from a battle.
Okay.
So I've earned the stripes. So now when I pray, I'm careful to pray also, give me the grace for this situation. But so I have a good relationship with God. I am very prayerful. When I'm afraid, I pray. When I'm happy, I pray. I'm one of those, the tea will be good as, oh, Jesus, Father Lord.
Thank you.
Yes.
So words become things. You truly believe that?
Yes, I do.
So you're
Absolutely.
very careful with the things that you also say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even when people ask you, like, even if I had a headache, someone says, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. But my head could be pounding because I know that.
But some people say, but that's not being honest, though.
Because, okay,
Do you think?
You need to be careful how you say it. It's like how people say, you know me, I'm not a morning person. You will not be a morning person.
Yes, yes.
So things
because you're
like
labeling
that.
yourself already.
Exactly. So I try not to label myself. For example, my eyes, I have, the doctor said, me, I'm okay. But the doctor said I have sensitivity to light.
Okay.
So according to the doctors, I cannot look directly into light, or if light hit my eyes, they start tearing. But so my doctor said, my optician said, why don't you wear your specs? I gave them to you for a reason.
Yes.
And I said, most cases I'm fine. But it's only when your words start to get into my eyes.
And then you really your words get into your eyes.
And so he looked at me and says, you know what? I'm always here. You know where my office is. If your prayers stop working, come here. But yeah, I'm very conscious about it. Yes.
You're as if a rapper. Please.
Oh, come on.
How did that happen?
So I did do a video. I did write a verse. I did spit some rhymes. Say it. I did genuinely think in my teenage years I was going to be a rapper. But no, didn't happen. So the Teens Club was sent to Germany for a training. And while there, we had to do a project at the end of the training.
Okay.
So some people would shoot a documentary, some people would, go to a camp and do something, like different things. And then my team, in their geniusness, decided
You're gonna do a song?
They'd do a song.
That is so... Okay.
We were three, so it was me, a girl called Beatrice, and Kagwe. And Kagwe was a bit younger than all of us, and he said, I could do a bit of rap, and then his voice was a bit young. So
Okay.
they said, So the girl said, I'll sing.
Okay.
So
Then they turn to you.
So I'm like, give me 30 minutes. So Kagwe goes in and raps, and the girl sings. So they have a track, but there's like a third verse missing. So we go away. The next day, I'm like, maybe you should just do it. Maybe you're a rapper. Maybe you get a stage name and all of that, and just come. You laugh right now, but I had my confidence gauge way up there. So I sit down, I jot down, good rap. Then I go through it. Then I rap, and the Germans are like, nice. Go into the booth, and I actually ended up being given like extra verses.
What?
Yes, and then I was pretty much dominant in the video. So we come back to Uganda. So when you're in Germany, everyone is clapping for you. These kids are so talented. We come back home at WBS, and there's an unveiling. The Teens Club children, went to Germany, and after their training, have a video. People laughed. I was like, that's it. I am never rapping.
But
I'm
you
never
know what?
doing that.
You did it.
Yes, I did.
That's the most important challenge was given, and well done. And you've given us all the information we need. Now we can find it.
Come on. If I see it, I'll know it's you.
So what about acting? You
Yes.
said you're part of different clubs in school. Did you
Yeah.
start acting way back in the day, or this was just a recent thing?
No, the only acting I ever did was extras.
Okay.
Yeah, at Chisubi they used to Catholic schools are well known for staging plays, and it's a whole production, my friend. They go all out, costumes and songs, and yes. So the headmistress, I never spoke Luganda at the time, and so people would always just say things and I'd just be staring at them. And so the headmistress always said, "Oh, my Tumusiime, people are going to bully you. Come, come, come." So she tells the drama teacher to please put me somewhere, anywhere. And so there's a role for buffalo. So buffalo is, you laugh, but
I'm sorry. I think it's just the way you said it.
buffalo. So they put out, it's brown, darkish gray blankets. Those old school blankets.
Yes.
So they tell me just like, go on fours, and then they cover me in
cover
the
you.
blanket. And they said the buffalo just stays there. When you hear someone beat you, you start moving.
So you were the best buffalo you could be.
Oh yes, I just stayed. I was covered in a blanket, and I just stayed there 30 minutes in there, waiting for someone to say move. Nothing. It was the saddest day of my life. And the headmistress said, "Oh, Tumusiime, you did so well." It was so bad. I said, "That's it. I'm not coming to drama class anymore." Never.
How did you end up on Beneath the Lines? I mean, like acting again.
So eventually, Henry said, that was, listen, don't let your children be buffaloes in school. Like, tell them if they're not the lead actress, don't accept that stuff. Because I'm telling you, I was just there like this. And then no one can see you. So the headmistress is saying, me, I saw your performance. It was so nice.
Like I didn't do anything.
And I was under a blanket. So Henry Sally, who's a writer, approached me in 2007, and he said, I've written a script, and it's about the campus life, what campus girls go through, and I have a few adult, key roles.
Okay.
But I have a specific role that I want you to play. And I said, Sally, why? Why would you think I would just just come, read through. If you don't like what I've written, then you can always give it back to me.
Okay.
Now, I had never read a movie script at this time. So I was just reading. I thought it was just like a book. I read through and I said, "Oh, you want me to be Pam?" Okay. Says, "Okay, so we shoot and this is how it's done." And I think actually it's Chwani, the movie, so you can find it there. So my aunt was Juliana Kanyomozi.
Yeah.
So I get on set and I really don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
But I've memorized my lines and I've assumed this is how it's supposed to be. So I really didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
And the movie eventually comes out and people are like, well done, well done. So Roger Mugisha is like, you need to do a bit more acting. This is your thing. I said, it is? Okay. So I was like, maybe it wouldn't be too bad. Maybe I can read up on this. Maybe I can go to school for this. And then the first time someone tried to offer me a script and they said the amount of money they were offering me, I said, no, acting is not my thing. It really isn't. Not everybody must act. Films for what? I say, that's how much you pay actors and actresses?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
They have to work as hard as they can, as often as they can.
Your whole day is gone because you're on set early in the morning and till late. So it's gone. And I think the only other time I tried to do something was John Segawa had Irreversible Regret. Unfortunately, he had issues, I think, technical issues, and he wasn't able to put out the movie.
Okay.
But he's done that for a long time, and we're friends, so I think I trusted him a bit more. And he was very professional, actually. You could learn a lot from these people who do that, what people call loco. They're actually very good at what they do.
And very dedicated.
So eventually, Nana Kaga was very brilliant at what she does.
Yeah.
And Cedric Babu had a script, and they were lining up a cast. And so when Cedric brought me on board, it was just the three of us spoke, and Nana said, after talking to me, Nana said, she'll do it. And then I was getting good feedback from, because people that I work with internationally, they were saying, oh, this is great, this is good stuff, you should do it.
Okay.
But then that ideally means you move. Acting, I won't even go there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I like it because now over time I've gotten into it, but I don't pursue it deliberately at all, at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one of the things I'm getting from you, which I really like, is that someone says, "How about you do this?" and you're like, "Okay."
Yeah, most times.
Pretty much, right?
Most times, yeah.
A lot of people don't have that confidence, or
yeah.
they're like, "No, but I can't, but I can, but I won't." So, you think that's one of your strengths?
It is. I'll tell you something. Well, now they already know. There's a telecom company in Rwanda, because I am registered on a voice bank in South Africa, and I get clients who give me work all the time.
Yes.
So I remember a few years back, one of these clients sent me a script and said, "Can you please voice this in English?" I said, "Okay." So I do it and I send back, and they're like, "Sorry, we're looking for a French speaker, and apparently the voice we got is not available, and the client needs a script in by tomorrow." So I said, "Oh, I can do that." In French? In French. So they said, "Brilliant. Same voice in English and French." So they send over the script. I went to YouTube. Avec. Je. So I just said, "Okay, so that's how they pronounce this. So now how do you join them?" Then I started to like go through it and then go through it, and I sent the script. It was actually used. I was like, "Well done!" So then they'll send more scripts, and I'll be like, "I'm so busy, I'm not able to voice this."
Like, okay, I managed to pull it off
Once, yeah.
I'm not sure I can do this
But then
all
I was
the time.
telling myself, "Oh, you're a hustler. Did you just convince people you could actually read French?"
Wow.
So yeah.
So 30 Days of Flavia.
Yes.
What motivated you to do that? Because it was quite personal.
It was. Looking back, because I eventually got some strength and I read all those stories back, and I was like, I mean, if I was on the other end, and I would have been inspired by some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I was at a very, very low point in my life. And as people know, I think even now not much has changed. People still find me a mystery because I don't really
Yes, you're very
share.
private.
Yes, I don't
Very
really,
private.
like, I'll share a cup of tea, but like, that's it. You know, I'm not very good at saying, this is where I hang, and this is what I do, and I'm not very good at that. So I said, I'm going through a tough time, and not even a single soul knows. So people are treating me as if it's, you know, business as usual. And maybe some people would not, you know, be too hard on me if they knew who I was, if they knew what my journey was. Because also a lot of people used to think I had it so easy. They used to think I had a very glossy life and perfect. "Oh, Flavia, you don't make mistakes, or you don't have problems, or this and that." And I said, I get it that I've grown up in your faces.
But there's stuff that happens when you're away
exactly.
from the public.
Exactly, a lot of stuff that happens. Plus, maybe also by telling my story, they'll know what my journey has looked like. Because a lot of people said she was on TV when she was young, radio, but they don't never join the dots.
Yes.
So at first it started out as just me hoping to just encourage myself out of a rut, to count my blessings, but count my blessings as loudly as possible. And I actually said, I think on the first day I said, it's my way of counting my blessings, or just telling my story.
Yes.
And I thought, to be honest, there'll be like 10 people in the comment section, and we would chat back and forth. First person was like, wait, where'd you come from? All of you, go back, go. And then they're like, we can't wait for day 2. So then you're like, ooh, okay. Plus, you know, you're a brand who doesn't want to look like you decided to do something and then went back on it.
Yes.
So I had so many stories to tell, because my career at the time had been like for 10 years. And I was like, if I started to tell my story, it would be a lot. So I'd tell a story depending on if I was a 20-year-old who was reading this, what would inspire me? Work, personal life, you know, friendship. So that's how I divided my 30 days.
Okay.
So I'd pick a piece from friends, and I'd pick a piece about my work, and I'd pick a piece about empowerment, and I'd pick a piece about money, you know, so different things. So that's why they were all different.
Okay.
But surprisingly, till today, I still get someone who says, oh, I was just reading through day 5 and it means this to me. And you're like,
One of the things you touched on was sexual harassment.
yes.
And of course, we're going through a time where we have the Me Too
Me Too,
movement.
yeah.
And a lot of women just don't know how to handle themselves when they are touched inappropriately, spoken
Yeah.
to inappropriately, or just actually properly harassed and bullied.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
How long do you have?
What happened?
No, this sexual harassment, of course, as you know, happens in different ways.
Yes.
Or sexual abuse. And I think for a long time Ugandans thought until someone is raped, you're good,
You're fine.
you're fine. Until it gets into rape, you see, and I think even now the Me Too is out, but then I don't think people still quite understand what it is. When I was always very vocal about how men spoke to me, especially in the workplace. I don't tolerate much. You will sit very far. You understand. And I think even I probably didn't know what was inappropriate or not, or what you can handle and can't handle. For example, I had an incident, and I think I did share it in one of the 30 Days of Flavia. And I said there was especially in the workspace, as women, you don't know who to fend off and who not to fend off, and how to. So if you're hired by someone who's making advances at you, you're told, just be quiet, he'll go away eventually.
Exactly.
And
Or just have you heard people say, like, just be nice for now.
Yes.
Eventually they'll move on.
Yes.
But that is encouraging the person, though.
Well, of course, but then some people might, if Flavia has done it that way, she might advise you to do it the same way. So I think that's what I've seen as a partner, because in that particular story, the gentleman had hired me to MC.
Okay.
And we were going to Mbale, which was not in my comfort zone. I'd never been there, and I was young. And I'd been actually suggested by somebody else, recommended by another female MC.
Okay.
And he said to me, okay, when we go, ndozogenda sula nange. And I said, Nedda, wekwaza bichi oli muntu mukuru, on the phone. So you're thinking, okay, that was a joke, right? That was a joke. Of course it was a joke.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you get into the car, and then you get to Mbale, and he's like, oh, it's only one room booked, and we're sharing. And
he said this to you?
Yes. He says there are no other rooms. I was like, wow, we'll sleep on the floor at the lobby. But then, I was able to ask the lady at the front desk, and unfortunately I had to pay. But then I think he was like, oh, you can't pay because you can't embarrass me. Then he says, okay, katoboli mu room, you can see massage. You know what I mean? And I'm sure somebody else has been told this, you understand? But it's like, And then he says, but the other girl did it, another girl did it.
No.
Why are you so special? I was like,
that's bullying.
Then I said, I'm going to tell them. You tell them. They know how these things work. And he made my life very hard, of course, at the event, because he wouldn't give me material to use as an MC. And of course, the good thing in that story is that there was a gentleman who was his superior.
Okay.
At the time, who helped me in the situation.
So you had
and said,
someone
yes,
to talk
yes,
to.
who said, you know what? After you're done MCing, go to your room and sleep. Be here at this time. I will be your transportation back to Kampala, so you don't have to deal with this person again. I will get your money from this person, so you don't have to go back and ask for the money. And I was fully protected. So they got me to Kampala and said, you're a young girl. This is going to happen a million times. Just maybe don't put yourself in a situation where you don't have someone to look out for you. And I appreciated that, I appreciated that, because I don't know how it would have gone me on a bus coming back from Bali with no payment,
Because I think it's such a challenge sometimes, even just for women knowing when to speak up. Do you say something now, immediately to the person? Do you wait a bit and then maybe talk to someone later? It's so many gray areas.
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
There's a guy who called me, and before that phone call, I respected the person in this industry, and they said to me, "How are you, Flavia? It's so and so." So I'm like, "Oh, how are you? Great, great. You're good." Yes. Is there a problem? Why are you calling me? Kati storage, and it was very vulgar for like a good 10 minutes. And all I did was be quiet on the phone. I'm like, huh? And I hung up. They sent me a message. Kati wekoza bichi. Wekoza bichi. And I keep telling people, see, those little comments, some women don't really know where to stop or when to stop or how to deal with certain things. And then when you speak up, also you think you're too special. You think people hitting on you is so bad. It's not the hitting on you. It's the fact that some people, because they're in a powerful place, in the workplace or in society
Yes.
will use their position
Of authority, yes.
of authority to try and put you in a corner. And I'm saying this because I'm speaking for girls, because I've had young girls talk to me and say, Flavia, I'll be honest, I gave in. And the reason I gave in is because I was getting some money and I come from this background and I have tuition to pay for. You understand? I have things to do. And if my boss said I can get an extra $1 million for this, I did it. But I don't want to do this for. And I said, but you see, that's the problem. It goes on and on and on and on.
True.
We have a long way to go. That I'll tell you for free.
What's your definition of feminism and being a feminist? Because you have said before you're a feminist.
I'm for women.
You're for women.
Yes, absolutely. Every 10 words I always say I'm for women. But I don't know, because it wasn't a movement I've created. And I also don't want to trash them, because I also don't want to be against a woman. So if that's her stand, that's her stand. I feel like we should separate men are, okay, some men are trash. I have to be corrected here. And feminism. There are so many ways that I want to be a feminist or stand for women, because I don't know everybody else's definition. But I've told women I work with that if you pull me down in a workspace, that's already bad. See, I'm only discussing the workspace. I haven't discussed husbands, boyfriends, no, just the workspace. If I am a TV presenter and I give opportunity to the next generation to come here, I feel like that's for me, feminism.
Okay.
You know, if I do this and say, hold on, I pull you, you do the same for everyone else, I'm already giving us a seat at the table.
Okay.
Because I gave us a seat I'm not concerned on how you use your seat at the table. For now, I'm concerned to make way for other women to eat on the same table. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I want them to eat the same way. I don't want them to have to pay a huge price. You understand? I don't want them to go through the same thing I went through just to survive in the media industry, because you've been in, you know at a media training, then I get a job. Please, it's hard.
Yes, it is.
It was hard for us to get in. And imagine, I started at 14, so I went through all the phases of it. But I want to be able to tell a young girl, I see the talent in you, understudy me, let's groom you, and in a couple of months you should be able to have an opportunity. And she does the same for everybody else. For me, that's the kind of feminism I have.
Okay.
I want to see another woman who's saying, I'm in trouble because I don't feel a certain way about my body or myself or my joy, and I can sit down with you with coffee and say, talk to me, let me hear you out, and let me keep your secret. And someone, I think I put that on Instagram, you can fix another woman's crown without having to tell the entire world you've done it.
Yes.
For me, that's my kind of feminism, you know? I want to be able to look at someone on Instagram, and if I can reach them out and say, you didn't look happy in your last couple of posts, are you okay? And for them to trust to say, okay, I've not heard her say, okay, this is what I'm going through, and I can advise you, oh, you know what, I know a good doctor. Go here. You understand? I need to be able to empower my friends and say, it's your birthday, I'll buy you a good book. Read. For me, that's feminism.
Okay.
You know, for me, I feel like it's standing for women,
Yeah.
not against women.
And being proactive about
You
you said.
have to work at it. Because, you know, as women, we can ignore you when we tend to.
Yes, for whatever.
can be
just
selfish.
insecurities sometimes.
And the society puts that insecurity. Do you see what I mean? We discussed that earlier. Your mother telling you, where is Crystal your friend? No, Crystal's beautiful. She shouldn't be your friend. You know, that's, you see, for me, I don't believe in that. I believe in all of us should have equal footing. It's like small things. If I know good skincare, I will share.
Yes.
If I went to a restaurant, you know, I was telling one of my friends that Isney was saying, that's a nice phone. Where did you get it? Somewhere. It's the little things that we do that teach us to be selfish.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like if I learn a secret that I feel is good for women, my workplace, everybody will know. By the way, there's this thing that you should get onto, or this scholarship. I think you're great at this. Sign up for it. I know someone in that office who could help you if you're not sure how to actually sign up for that scholarship. Take it.
Yes. Yes.
See, for me, that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Now, the men are trash discussion is something else.
Yeah.
You
Different.
understand?
Okay.
Because in what I've just discussed, my kind of feminism, men are there. You understand?
Yeah.
My supervisor is there. For me to say, can I have a girls' day out with my workmates? And Okay, can you facilitate it as my supervisor? Can you get us some money to fund? Okay, see, that's a man right there.
Yeah.
You see, so for me, my kind of feminism actually includes men. Men help us.
Yes.
Men stand for us. Now, the men are trust discussion is a different one.
Yes. Okay.
You understand?
'Cause a lot of people are
mix the two. You understand? Because I can stand for women without abusing a man.
Yeah. All right.
It's actually possible, surprisingly. It's very possible. It doesn't take away the fact that I'm aware that some men are very brutal to women.
Yeah.
And that discussion should also be had.
Yes.
You
It has to
see,
be addressed as
It has to
well.
be addressed. If for example, if I'm in an abusive relationship, you heard what I just said, I am in, not I've been taken to an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
What are you advising? Are you advising for us to kill the man, or you're advising for me to get out? You're advising me to get out.
Yes. Yes.
So for me, my kind of feminism would sit with my sister and say, you know, let's do things to make you happy. Because once she discovers herself, you will not touch her again.
Yes. Yes.
You do you see what I mean? Once she discovers her worth, you will not ignore her again. She won't be there for you to ignore. She will know her worth and she'll walk away.
Yes.
If I give my friend who's in an abusive relationship options for counseling, she doesn't have to talk to me. No.
I like that you talk about that. You mentioned therapy earlier on.
Yes.
People still have a very, I don't know, they see it as a weakness.
Yeah.
If someone goes and looks for therapy. And there's, you did mention that at one point that you were going through such a rough
Yes.
time in your life. Did you ever get to the point where you felt like giving up?
Yes, absolutely. I've been at the bottom before, but I mean, I do encourage, and I have numbers of counselors for my friends in different situations. Funny enough, I've not gone to one, but I've also had a circle of, you know, women, older women, aunties, uncles, you know, have men, people in my life who have advised me, who have counseled me in different ways.
Okay.
But I believe that not everybody might have that circle. So in my line of work, I keep numbers of counselors, of therapists, or just women who can empower you.
Yes.
So that when I see you unhappy, you don't have to tell me everything in your relationship. I don't want to find out what did you do last week, Tuesday, no. I'm more concerned about you.
Yeah.
So I'd rather give you stuff to empower you, then you can make a choice to walk out of that relationship or not, or to, it's not even about relationships. I always discuss relationships last. I'm like, women are much more than just their marriages or their relationships.
So your last song that you can share with us, something that's special
Wow.
to you.
So my last song is from a boy group that I like. Is Sauti Sol a band or a group? Yeah.
I think we'll go with group.
Yes, it's from Sauti Sol. It's still the one. I find this a very romantic song.
Oh.
Yeah, weird, but
See, when you're in love, you like those
love.
songs?
Oh no, I'm not one of those. But I should have given you like Joe, Boys to Men. No, but
She's been on radio too long.
I know everything is casual for us. Like even a good Kelly Latmore song, you're like, okay, it's nice. But I think Still the One by Sauti Sol is a beautiful song.
It's a beautiful song.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for coming. A
We have
pleasure
laughed too
chatting.
much.
nikaanza kuimba ukapata kajobo downtown